As per agenda number 3, may I please invite Mr. Robert Brown, the Senior Vice President of Strategic Sales and Corporate Alliances of Qooco Asia Private Limited, to kindly present about the Qooco Talk mobile application, and to please remain on the stage to answer any questions from the audience after the presentation.
Just in case that one's too low for me. So I like to be prepared. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking your time to come today to this launching of the KMD Qooco spoken language acquisition platform for Myanmar. My name is Robert Brown. I'm the Senior Vice President of Development, Corporate for the company. And I'd like to start this presentation with a little story. When I was 15 years old, I grew up in Taiwan. When I was 15 years old, I was hired to be an English teacher. This is many years ago, don't ask me when. What I found interesting was, as a 15-year-old child, I walked into a room, to a group of people, much like yourselves, this age group. And I was thinking to myself, my friends don't even listen to me. Why would these people pay money to listen to me? And it became apparent to me, they weren't there to listen to me. They paid money to talk to me, to learn and practice their speaking skills in English. Why? They all did very well on their exams. They learned how to read and write in school, but they couldn't speak the language. And I think this sums up the relationship we have with KMD, why we're doing what we're doing today. We don't want the people of Myanmar to be considered as late to the game. KMD, through their wisdom, has decided to work together with Qooco to use their physical locations outside Myanmar to help the younger people, capture them when they're younger, help them succeed in the language process when they're younger, so they don't have to go to the school system and try to learn late in the game. So with that said, I'd like to move into the presentation of what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. Thank you. I just have to learn how to use this device here. Okay. Mobile learning of KMD, increasing spoken English performance in Myanmar. Did I point to somewhere? There you go. Too fancy for me. Okay. So what is it that we do? At Qooco, it's very simple. We are a mobile learning platform for spoken English. Doesn't get more complicated than that. We create great results through blended learning. What is blended learning? Blended learning is exactly what we're doing with KMD. We have an online technology platform that we combine with physical schools and locations like KMD to offer and to have the best outcomes for students in Myanmar. So we combine technology with teachers, which has been proven to be the most effective way to do things, to learn language. Our core strength is in technology, speech recognition, analytics, authoring, all of it. Artificial intelligence, next stage, gamification, and you'll see more. Also in our platform, this is a very conservative number. We actually have over 30,000 licensed teachers from the US that's integrated within our app to support KMD and their efforts for the students in Myanmar. So I'm sure there's going to be many suppliers of services like this, but I'd like to point out to you what is the key differentiator between us and everybody else. Two things. Number one, our overall level of training is primarily focused on speaking level. Why is that? Because traditionally, this is the Achilles heel, the weakness in the school systems. Many times a student will go to school and then you have a teacher teaching English, but they can't speak English. So the students can only learn how to read and write. But now, with the KMD Qooco platform, we integrate the technology and the teachers so we can help the students focus on their speaking also, in addition to listening, reading, grammar, and vocabulary. So I'd like to start by giving you an example of how it works. And we have a video called A Day of a Student with Qooco. Yeah, play the video. So this is a child at home before they go to school, like a KMD center, practicing, and the parents can go to the telephone, and his parents who care, go to the phone and see the child's progress. How much did they study today, and so on and so forth. Then the student goes to school. And at a KMD center or school, they can compete with other students. What was your score? What was your score? Make it competitive. Teacher comes in. The teacher can check all the students' progress from the phone, from their mobile device. And at the KMD centers, this is where the students speak to each other face to face. And you pair the students up based on capability and ability. The key here is speaking. The future of Myanmar, tourism. It's a shameless plug. I apologize before you all right now. So the software only moves forward if the student speaks aloud, with color-coded feedback based on the enunciation. Red is not good. This is important also. At the schools where the KMD Center, the teacher can access every student from their phone or mobile device and actually press a button and listen to the student practicing at home. Why is that important? Instead of catching students do something wrong, now we can catch them doing something right and how we can help them improve.
Okay, you may start the test now.
You can stop. So how do we do this? Having done this for over 20 years, we didn't want to just create a technology where, oh, it's a cool technology, keep people speaking. What's critically important is that we have successful outcomes. And to have successful outcomes, you have to have a cognitive strategy. What does that mean? It means, what does it take for the child or the student's brain to learn? Why are we failing and where are we failing at? And the bottom answer is this. They fail because you need frequency of practice every day, a little bit every day, to learn the language. And the moment you stop, you forget what you've learned. So we designed a whole platform around what we call the testing effect. We interrupt forgetting through frequency in testing. We increase cognitive effort from mixing up the type of problems. It's not so one-dimensional. Hello dog, hello dog. It's not like that. It's multi-dimensional and helping students to solve through shuffle tests and exercises. We avoid fluency through end-of-topic quizzes, and it's all about reflection and forcing reflection through our testing effect. So, we'll show you how that works. Basically, in the shortest form, when a student comes into KMD Center and they start, first thing we have to do, hey, we have to test their ability. We need to pre-test and measure their existing knowledge and skills at that moment. Based on that test, okay, we will provide them with the topics they're going to learn, and then when they complete these, we will have these, what they call trigger these quizzes for them to make sure they actually learn or remember what they learned. Do they understand what they learned? If they can't pass this, they're recycled here, right? Why is that important? When we know they passed here and they go to the post-test, we know they know the topic, they know the subject, they have the skill sets, and they're very good, and they're going to do very well in the scores. So the journey is very simple. I'm going to jump through these really quick. Like I said earlier, we assess, we find their place, then we place them for them to learn the language, then we retest them to make sure they learn everything they're supposed to learn, and they advance up to the next level. The method. I don't want to fall off the stage, that would be embarrassing. They start here, and the goal is to get them to advanced level as quickly as possible. But first they start here and work toward their short-term goals. And it's all built into the platform, by the way. And this is a really important point we want to make here. The students cannot just take a quiz anytime they want to, because they feel like it. Our pedagogy determines their schedule. When they complete the exercises, our reporting will track everything that we feel automatically this student should know the topic well, and it triggers like a pop quiz, or we call it eye test trigger. And then they can take a test. If they pass it, we just move them up. It's about as close as you're going to get to kind of self-learning as possible. We set the criteria. The student meets that criteria. Student triggers eye test. Now let's talk about the eye test, because we've talked about the testing effect for so long. Okay? Why is this important? We make sure, through the data that we gather, that they're highly prepared for examinations and tests. The results will be the improvability, especially for spoken communication, which is critically important. They will improve in reading, listening, speaking, but once again, they will improve their speaking. It improves proficiency in test-taking skills. I don't know about Myanmar, but the rest of Asian countries like Taiwan, China, Japan, it's all about exams. People get nervous before exams. But when they use the KMD platform, they've already been through what we call the testing effect. By the time they complete this program and get a certificate from KMD, you can rest assured this student will be very confident and very used to taking exams. And that's really important. And what kind of exams are we talking about? When you pass a certain level of Qooco exams, is the equivalent, like Qooco C2, if you pass this level, is equivalent to A1 of CFR, this score on the TOEIC, IELTS, and TOEFL. So the results here will translate directly into other standardized tests. And the good news is, when they finished here, because they were trained under the testing effect and developed under the testing effect, it'll be very easy for them to take any other test. They know how to do this. They do it all the time. So Trinity College in England, they're some of the oldest English testing, I think it's over 80 years old. They're our partners. And they've been watching us, Qooco, very closely on how it improves outcomes and testing results. And there's no question about it. This is your typical test results. Okay, but we don't have to go into detail. The point being here, the Qooco test results go much higher. Over 95% of Qooco students get A or B grades in English in the schools. We've been able to track all that too. So Trinity College London, London GSE results. People who use the KMD Qooco platform, they generally score that much better, and 98% is well above the average. This is the average curve, and this is the KMD Qooco platform curve when they take exams. Much, much higher than traditional methods. So one of the last parts I want to talk about is, well, what's the model? What's the KMD model? Well, obviously they have the locations, and they'll be using the platform basically for students. They can practice at home, and then a few days, a week, they will come into the school to work with other students, or have a teacher coach them, or a human being work with them and help them improve. Student practice online daily, only 10 minutes a day, frequency of practice. Group activities, short performance, this will be all done at the KMD Qooco centers. And I'd like to end this presentation with some final thoughts. The whole point about this platform with KMD is about spending less time in getting superior results. With Qooco at home, they only need to do 10 minutes a day, 10 to 15 minutes a day, and then go to the KM centers for the group activities and the teacher activities. Online-only systems don't work. The retention is 2 to 30% at best, what we've researched from the last 20 years. The KMD Qooco platform, why this is the ideal relationship is because physical locations blended with online solutions. And we're having now over 85% retention rates, unseen in the industry. So we know that the online systems don't work, but we also know that traditional systems have never worked. I grew up in Taiwan, I know this. It's the same problem. Japan, Korea's been doing it for 20 years. Japan's been doing it for 30 years. Zero improvement, right? So if the online system doesn't work, the traditional systems don't work, we can only assume there's only one way to make this work, and that's through blended learning. Integrate technology with physical locations like KMD to offer the best outcomes that the students need in Myanmar. And let's not forget, I leave you on a note, and if something doesn't work, it's too expensive at any price, even free. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Robert Brown. I would like to humbly request you to kindly please remain on the stage to answer questions from the audience. Qooco Talk mobile application Jango, Mesa Shenin Pyoja Bidwalo, Qooco Asia Private Limited Ma, Senior Vice President of Strategic Sales and Corporate Alliances, Mr. Robert Brown will attend to the Salapiro, Akana season day, a Daisy Tishilo Miago, Mimian Naya, Q&A session Pibarnia, Mego Miago, Kuni Pija Bibayan, KMG Group of Companies Ma, Chief Operating Officer, Umyo Tanene, Principal, Domoblero Gule, Lisa Zotica Barnia. As per agenda number 4, I would like to announce the commencement of the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please feel free to address them.
Can I ask a question? Does everybody speak English or did anybody not understand what I said?
Mr. Robert ရှင်းတယ်တော့ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ application ကတော့ free ပါခင်ဗျာဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့ဒီမှာကျွန်တော်တို့က pre-test လေးလုပ်တယ်ပေါ့နော် pre-test လုပ်ပြီးတော့မှဒီ level တစ်ခု confirm လုပ်ပြီးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ခါကျရင်အကြောင်းသားနဲ့ပြီးပါ study လုပ်မယ်လို့ဆိုပြီးဖြစ်ပြီးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကsemester license လို့ခေါ်တယ်ခင်ဗျာအဲ့ semester license လေးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကရောက်ချပြီးပါပါခင်ဗျာအဲ့ဒီဟာကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ one semester ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့4လပေါ့4လဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ pricing နေတယ်တော့9000တောင်းတယ်
You had so many questions earlier. Don't stop now. Are you all asked now?
နေစရာရှိလားမသိဘူးเนาะဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါရှင်โอเคဒီမှာသိချင်တာဒီခုနက9000ကျော်လို့ဒီ990လို့ဘယ်လို payment system နဲ့ပေးရမှာလဲရှင် So 9000ကတော့ one time payment ပါရှင်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါ4လစာချက်ပါတယ်ရှင်
payment system ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့အခုလောဆိုကျွန်တော်တို့ KMD Center ညီညီကိုကန့်သတ်ရှိတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ assurance အဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ training ရဲ့ center တွေမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကဝင်ပေးရမယ်။ကျွန်တော်တို့အဲ့အချိန်မှာတခါလဲ application installation လုပ်တာလို့သုံးဖို့သုံးပြီးလို့တခါလဲကျွန်တော်တို့ရှင်းပြတယ်။ဟုတ်ဗျာ။ဘာလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီ code ပါထည့်ပေးနေတယ်။ဒီကအသုံးပြုပုံကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ application ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဟိုအဖြစ်ဖို့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ guidance လုပ်ပေးပါမယ်။
Okay ပါကျွန်မဘေးကိုလေးတွေဘေးချင်တာရှင်းနေလို့ရပါတယ်ကျွန်မတို့ပြောချင်တာကျွန်မအနေနဲ့ကျွန်မက principal တယောက်ဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်သင်ကြားရေးပိုင်းတာဝန်ထားတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်သင်ကြားရေးပိုင်းနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ရှိတော့ကျွန်မပြောပြမယ်ပေါ့နော်အခုဒီအားဆက်တော့ Qooco ဆိုတဲ့ဒီခုဒီဟိုပါအောင်အခုဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ learning style ကိုပြောင်းလာကြပြီ self study ဆိုတာကဒီ teaching environment 21st century မှာကဒီ education system တွေကချိန်လာ